This tutorial will describe the general usage of the FFG 7 weapon stations, specifically the weapons coordinator, the weapons control, and the torpedo control stations. By the end of this tutorial, you should be able to successfully fire from these stations. For general information on the FFG-7, please consult the other FFG tutorials provided. And, of course, we encourage you to consult the manual for detailed information on all components in the game. From the nav map station, we select the Stations menu and go to the Weapons Coordinator station. This station's purpose is to detect and classify contacts using the available surface search and air search radars, and also to populate the target queue for use in other weapons stations. The buttons along the bottom of the screen are used to enable and disable the available radars, and also to display the helo's transmitted radar data if the helo is currently in sync with the FFG and on the ASTAC station. These radars can all be turned on simultaneously, and the radar contacts will be marked automatically for you. In that sense, the weapons coordinator is responsible for gathering all information on the available contacts and to make the final decision on the classification and alliance or ID of those contacts to coordinate an attack if necessary. Once a contact is considered to be hostile, the weapons coordinator can enter it into the target queue so that the crew manning the other weapons stations can engage it. This is mainly an issue in multiplayer, multi-station games in which various people are manning their respective stations and will depend on the target queue for their particular responsibilities. In single player, you are in control of all stations and you may choose not to utilize the target queue. Any target in the target queue can be designated as a hold fire target and will communicate that this contact is still considered a threat but is a lower priority, or that the contact is assumed hostile and needs to be verified before it is engaged. However, just because a target is labeled with a hold fire status, it does not provide anyone from any of the weapon stations from firing upon it. Let's add two hostile contacts to the target queue, one surface contact and one subsurface contact. Select the contact in the geoplot display, then click the Engage button, and the target will be added to the target queue. We will now go to the weapons control and torpedo control stations to engage these two contacts. Weapons control provides the interfaces to control many of the FFG's onboard weapons. It allows you to fire the Harpoon missile at surface contacts and to fire the SM-2 missiles at surface and air contacts. It allows you to fire the 76mm gun at surface and land-based contacts. It provides the controls to input harpoon plans to successfully fire a harpoon and have it follow the designated waypoints. Lastly, it provides the settings to control the fire of the close-in weapons system, also known as the CWIS, to engage incoming missiles and airborne enemies. Let's select the surface contact in the target queue from the missile panel. We then click the SM-2 button to ready the missile for firing. Once it is ready, we then assign the contact to the STIR radar that will guide the weapon to its target. When a target is assigned and acquired by the radar, the fire button will light and we can launch the weapon. To fire a harpoon, we click on the harpoon plan button, select the same surface contact in the queue, and then click Apply. Then we can click Auto Preset so that the harpoon plan will be given a default path to the target, but you can alter this plan as needed. When we return to the missile panel and assign the surface contact to the STIR radar, since it now has a valid harpoon plan, we can click the harpoon button to fire the weapon successfully. The gun control panel works in a similar fashion. Select the target to fire upon, assign it to the CAS fire control radar that will be used to track the target, and then click the Hold Fire button to toggle the status of the gun you're about to fire. You can extend the gun camera to the top left of the screen to watch the results of the gun firing. The CWIS panel is slightly more automated in that when the CWIS is set to auto or full auto, it will engage incoming contacts automatically. When set to auto, the CWIS will engage air attacks that are incoming in excess of 200 knots, assumed to be inbound missiles or hostile aircraft. When set to full auto, the CWIS will automatically engage any air attack inbound or outbound that are within range of the CWIS radar. Use caution when in full auto, because the CWIS will engage your accompanying MH-60 helicopter if it is trying to take off or land. The torpedo control station relies entirely on the target queue, as it doesn't have a geoplot display to hook the contacts manually. You may notice that the targets entered in the target queue are displayed along the perimeter of the circular torpedo control display with a line and track number. You may move the triangular cursor along the outer edge of the circular display and jump to the computer intercept bearing of the target selected in the target queue. When own-ship course nears that which is recommended in the course to steer readout and the gyro is set to the best possible setting for the selected contact, the cursor turns a bright orange color. With a good chance of hitting the target, we can click the Ready button and fire the torpedo. That concludes our FFG weapons tutorial. Please consult the manual for a more detailed description of how to use the FFG stations and tactics to employ those stations successfully in the game.
Torpedo away, starboard tubes.
TAO, sonar soup, loud explosion, bearing
1, 8, 9.